All right.
Yeah, it is, really.
Yes, it is. What up, people? Pushing Wild Black here with Pushing Wild Black Sports, and this guest has been away for a minute, but I had to get him because one big NBA thing is happening and some NFL stuff is happening. First day of free agency in the NFL, and the actual league year is today, as of this recording. Mignon Garrett of the RANT Sport and Fitness and my football expert is here with me on the line, and because we have Cowboy things to discuss. Mr. Garrett,
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up, Chris?
What's happening, man? Well, the era of Tony Romo is officially done, man.
Yes, and it's a relief.
He said it's a relief.
I'm glad it took several weeks, several months to figure this out. We all knew it was gonna happen. We just didn't know what day it was going to. And today's the day. So, thank you, Tony, for everything you did. I just want to go ahead and say that. Thank you for everything you did in Dallas. You were wonderful, man. Wonderful leader in the locker room, and you will be missed. You will be put in that ring of honor. We know that already.
Of course.
And I thank you for everything you did for our team, man.
And now they have officially offered Dak Prescott a 3-year deal.
Yes.
Brock Osweiler has been traded to Cleveland. Somehow I don't think that's going to make Cleveland any better.
Right.
And
yeah, he just pretty much signed his stamp of approval in Cleveland to go ahead and be bad now.
Yeah, and Robert Griffin is done, maybe?
What do you think about Robert Griffin? What do you think is going to happen? Career backup?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so. No, because he can't stay healthy.
Right.
Stay healthy, dude. You can't stay healthy, bro. I think he might, if they cut him, I think that he might end up trying to earn a job again. But you know, if you're Cleveland, why not have both of them?
If I'm any team in the NFL right now, RG3 is not starting for me.
No. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you have anybody start? Why would you have him start for anybody? Who could he start for?
He couldn't start for anybody, man. He had no one. I mean, who? Cleveland? No.
That was already proven.
Jets? No.
The Jets maybe. Jaguars no.
Maybe. I mean, there's no team out there that I don't think would give him a shot as a starting quarterback, man. You
would have to earn it. You would have to earn the job.
Exactly.
And do you want to do that again?
Right.
So I'm not saying he's out, but with Brock Osweiler, now maybe Brock Osweiler is so bad that RG3 still wins the gig. But I don't think you trade for him if you're Cleveland and you think, because it's a quarterback. It's quarterback thing. Let's see what the trade was actually about.
Right.
If it doesn't, hold on. I'm doing production right on the dude. Yeah, before let's break down the let's see. Oh, that was Deshaun Jackson. I read that wrong. The 3-year deal was for Deshaun Jackson. We'll get to that in a second because I think the Bucs are going to be. I think the Bucs are going to be a problem. But yeah, man. Browns acquire Osweiler from the Texans. Let's break down what that trade was about. Okay. Osweiler is headed to Cleveland, at least for now, and this is by Greg Rosenthal of NFL. NFL Network, and they just published this today. The Houston Texans found the creative way to get Brock Osweiler and $16 million guaranteed salary off the books. They decided to give him away to the Cleveland Browns with the second-round pick as a sweetener. So they gave up a second-round pick for this?
Yes.
To get him out of... Wow. Osweiler is headed to Cleveland, at least for now, in a deal that will send a 2018 second-round pick to the Browns.
Yes.
The team announced Cleveland is also sending its 2017 compensatory fourth-round pick to the Texans for their 2016 sixth-round pick.
Right.
But the Browns are essentially paying cash and cap space in exchange for the second-rounder. The most amazing part of the deal is Osweiler may not remain for the Browns for too long. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports that the Browns will try to trade Osweiler and see what comes of it, but could eventually release him. Rappaport also reports that the Browns will release Robert Griffin III. Wow. We called it, didn't we?
Yes.
Which would also leave the team with only Osweiler, Cody Kessler, who actually had a pretty good game against the Cowboys last season, and Kevin Hogan at quarterback. Rappaport also reports that the Browns are expected to make a run at acquiring the Patriots' backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo as the NFL draft approaches. The Texans,
another Matt Castle. Go ahead.
Dude, that's what everybody's worried about. The Texans, meanwhile, save $16 million in cash and $10 million in cap space that they can potentially use on signing a new quarterback, like, say, Tony Romo. Rappaport reports that the Texans will not trade for Romo, who is yet to be released from the Cowboys, and that's as of the writing of this article. NFL Network James Palmer reported earlier Thursday that the Broncos do not see a trade happening for Romo, so that particular quarterback conundrum remains in limbo. The same is true for Osweiler's career. As a result of the trade, would augur a new era of trades in the NFL. The Browns had so much cap space that essentially they could use to buy a draft pick. Okay, I don't feel like reading this whole thing. That's enough.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like, for basically, the Browns got the second round pick from this was a trade to get picks. So Osweiler, based on this article, Osweiler is probably done. Robert Griffin is probably going to get released. So Cody Kessler seems to be, of the guys that they have now, Kessler seems to be the guy that they like. Kessler actually put up good numbers before the injury. So
Kessler's not too shabby.
No.
I mean, he's
got a
little Wall Street in him, but that can be tamed.
Yeah. Now is he a franchise for them?
No.
I don't know, but it's good enough. And if you're gonna use that, if you're gonna be in the market for a quarterback, like, we see what Osweiler can be, like, you know what I'm saying, or is. So like, I can understand. Okay, you got the draft pick coming. You know, you don't know if what's the guy from Clemson?
You're talking about oh my gosh, man. Starts with a T. Chris, not in front of me.
I can't.
I can't think of his last name. But everybody's trying to get him, though, man.
Yeah, they're comparing him. They're comparing him to be as a more safer Johnny Manziel, because he can run.
How do you feel about that, though? Like, do you think he'll come out into the league, you know, and take over, you know, because he's already had his eyes set on the Cowboys, right?
Who?
The Clemson quarterback. You know, he's already put out instant messages.
He won't be there though.
Not instant, but Instagram. Yeah, I know.
But he won't.
He wants to be a Cowboy so bad, man.
Why? You're not gonna start.
You know what it is, man? It's the simple fact that he knows the potential of what the Cowboys have, and a lot of players out there know that. They know that. They know what the Cowboys have, and really, is the Cowboys right now the closest shot to the Super Bowl? What do you think?
Yeah, but if I was him, I'd still want to play.
Oh yeah, of course. But you know one thing though, man, I would hope that he weighs his options. You know, I just hope he doesn't end up in Minnesota, like, you know, or Minnesota, or heck, even Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Just he needs to go to a squad where he's gonna have.
Okay, of the two people that you mentioned, of the two teams that you mentioned,
right?
Minnesota has a line.
Yeah.
And they play in the dome. Okay, Cleveland, they ain't figured out what they want to be. Okay, so to me, it's like, to me, it's like I personally feel like you need to. I personally feel like of the teams that you mentioned, Minnesota is probably the most ready to, and Teddy Bridgewater. Like, okay, we don't know how Teddy Bridgewater is going to be coming back from that injury, right?
Right.
So if you got a guy, if you got a guy like, let's see, I still cannot think of that brother's name. Okay, so yeah, I would still think the guy from Clemson, from Minnesota, and I don't even think he'll be there at that low. I think he'll end up being like the first quarterback taken, or one of the first quarterbacks taken. Like, I don't think he'll be that low, you know what I'm saying, as a Cowboy, unless people are like for the Cowboys or even Minnesota. Like, I can see him actually going to Cleveland, just because I can also see him going to the Bears. You know what I mean? Like, I can totally see that happening. But yeah, like, I would go get a quarterback if I'm Cleveland. I can totally see them doing that, and I totally understand why they plan on not keeping Osweiler, because we've already seen what he can do.
Right.
So Tony Romo's gone from the Cowboys. It's looking like he's going to end up going to Houston, which is why that trade happened for that second round pick. What do you think about the trade happening what do you think about the idea of Romo going to Houston?
You know what I mean, from a fan to, you know, person that just analyzes the game and talks about it, I think it'd probably be a better fit for him.
Going to Houston?
I mean, from a family standpoint, it would be good for him, because he's still in Texas and he's not making a huge move, you know, to try to go and readjust in another big city that's not, you know. And when I say that, I mean, like, he's not going to New York, or he's not going to Los Angeles. He's going to a Texas team he's familiar with. You know, I think it's going to be interesting, I think, for him. I mean, it's a good move. I mean, I think he would fit well in their system. Right. And they can make adjustments for him. And they have some weapons. So, I mean, they get Tony Romo in there. They get add a few more weapons in there for him, and they'll be okay.
And they'll
be all right.
And he's still in the dome.
He's still in the dome.
He's still in a warmer place. Texas,
exactly.
you know,
there's no climate changes really. I
right.
mean, he's good. He's good. I think Houston will be a good fit for him, man. I think for all of us, it's gonna be weird looking at him wear blue, red, and white. I really do. At first, you know, it's just
it will make that Texans Cowboy game a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Or he could just get punched in the mouth his first game and injured again.
Right. Well, I wonder if they'll give him the same number, or if he'll want the same number.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. Will he want the same number?
Number 9?
Yeah, or would he want a different number representing his new start? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the Romo Cowboy jerseys, folks. Think about that. Everyone has a Romo jersey right now.
Get that bad boy. Get that bad boy framed. If I'm them, I'd get that bad boy framed, dude, because he will be in the Ring of Honor.
Yes, he is. I mean, it's no doubt. He's gonna be in that. He's gonna be in that ring. And if you don't have a Tony Romo jersey, you need to get one, because it's gonna. I guarantee you, in the future, it's gonna be worth some money.
Oh, it'll be a throwback.
Yes, it's gonna be a throwback.
Great. Now, to me, greatest Cowboy quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Because it's him and Danny White, right? And we all agree that Danny White is better. That Tony Romo is better than Danny White.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no question, man. The numbers that Romo put up here in Dallas, I mean, greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl, man.
Right.
I mean, easy. I mean, you can easily say Dan Marino, but you really, I mean, now Dan Marino, in my opinion, no.
Because Brady and Peyton destroyed all his records.
They obliterated
like Peyton Manning has every record damn near.
Yes, he does. Every record. So Dan Marino, to me, now is just kind of like, I mean, not to say he wasn't a great quarterback. He was, but, you know, people have surpassed him, man. I mean, it's the same thing with Tony Romo. I mean, I hate, that's the worst thing I hate, folks, for Tony is that he couldn't get a bowl. Because I believe he deserved one. I believe that Jason Witten deserved one. Any of the Cowboys that were here from 2000 and up deserved to be in the Super Bowl, man, or to get a Super Bowl ring somehow. But it doesn't happen like that, and, you know, Tony will just be one of those. Now, I can see this, though. When Tony retires, obviously, you know, when he announces his retirement, Jerry will probably give him, this small deal, this day deal, or whatever.
So he can officially retire as a Cowboy, and so they can put him in the Ring of Honor.
And put him in the Ring of Honor. And what I could see is if they did that, if Tony said, hey, you know, I really don't want to be in Houston anymore. I want to go back to the Cowboys, and he orchestrates something to the point where Tony can be a player, but Tony understands he's not going to play. Give him a small deal for the season.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the Super Bowl. Tony gets a ring. But he's not going to get one. I mean, I'm sorry, but he's not going to get one like that, because I don't believe he's going to even be in Dallas when that happens.
No.
You know, I think he'll be at the game, though.
He said he'll be at the game. Wow.
Yeah, he'll be at the game.
Wow.
He just won't be playing in it, but
wow.
That's just, I mean, that's just real. That's the real conversation. He's not going to get a ring with Dallas, man. It's just, gosh, and I hate that for him, dude. Because I really did appreciate everything he did here in Dallas, man.
But you know he's not going to be, you know him being a backup was just going to be no. He did a good, he was a good little soldier for the rest of the season, but we all knew that was going to go. And big ups to Jerry and Steven for, trying, but just right out releasing him so he can go somewhere else.
Right. I know that was a tough one, but he wouldn't have been happy, man. There's no way.
Hey,
Tony's got. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Tony has 2 years left in him. He's got 2 years left in him. If he can stay healthy, he's got two years left in him, and then it's questionable.
Yeah, I
it's questionable.
And
then
he needs a line. The receiving core, the receiving core at Houston, I'm not worried about because I've seen Tony Romo make bums into receivers.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about that because he's smart. The thing that I've always said about Tony Romo is not necessarily his decision making, and part of that was coaching. His decision making was poor, as far as trying to be super quarterback.
Yeah.
And I put that more on coaching than I do him. So, but as far, I've seen him turn bums into receivers, or third or fourth round guys into now. The guy that does that masterfully is Tom Brady, but Tony can do that too.
Yeah,
Tony can make some average. Tony can make average receivers look really, really good.
Now let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question: Who right now? Who's your top 5 quarterbacks in the league?
Right now?
In NFL history, who's your top 5?
Okay, in history or right now?
We'll say in history, and then we'll go right now.
Okay. History, I'm going to go with who I've seen.
Okay.
Who I've seen and who I remember. Because I've seen Joe Montana, but I really don't have a consciousness of Joe Montana. So I'll go from who I've seen. And a couple of these will not have rings. So a couple of these will not have rings, okay? So
that's fine. No problem.
Okay, so the best I've ever seen is Peyton Manning. That's number 1. The second best I've ever seen is Brett Favre. That's number 2. Okay? And for Favre to come to 1, go to the Jets, make the Jets competitive, leave, and then go to the Vikings, and then almost get them to the Super Bowl at the age that he was. That was, dude.
Yes.
Dude. It's okay. So as from a purely technician standpoint, it's Peyton Manning. That dude is an offensive coordinator, but he plays quarterback. Period.
Right.
Okay. Then you have Brett Favre. That's number 2. Now, again, these are guys that I've seen. The guy that, and then number 3, when healthy and when paying attention, Michael Vick. That's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, number 5 is hard.
Yes, it is.
Number 5 is really hard from the guys that I've seen. Number 5 is Brady. And I'll tell you why number 5 is Brady. Because I cannot get over the fact that if you take Brady out of that system and you put Castle in there, and you put Garofalo in there, and you put the third string quarterback in there from NC State, they don't lose. Now, Brady does have what Romo has, but Romo is just because he's a gunslinger and that's just what he does. Brady can make bums into receivers. But here's the thing with Brady though. Oh, an honorable mention, Kurt Warner. In the
Yeah, I was about to say, I was wondering if you were going to put him out there because I sure was. He's probably in my top 5.
Yeah, and we're going the ones that you the ones we're going the ones right now.
Yeah.
Or we're going to run the ones ever. The ones ever for the ones that I've seen. Honorable mention Kurt Warner because when Mike Martz's system was right, you wasn't beating the Rams. That was
right.
Like when they were right and they were still everybody was still trying to figure out the greatest show on turf. You weren't beating them.
Right.
Like and that Kurt Warner fit perfectly in that system. And then he had like a couple of bad seasons in New York. And then when he went to the Cardinals, it was like, oh, there's Kurt Warner again. You know what I mean? And you've been now. He won what? One Super Bowl? He got the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And he won 1. Getting the 3 of them is a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like getting the 3 of them is a thing. And even though you only won 1, that still it's impressive. And for what you were able to do in both offenses and fundamentally change what the Rams were doing, the Rams franchise and the Cardinals for that couple seasons, that was good. I gotta give Kurt honorable mention here because he's been one of my favorite quarterbacks just to watch. Like I have a whole list of like 1 or 2 season wonders that are honorable mentions, but I put Kurt in there just because of the fact that he hung around after he got a shot, and then what he did with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I know this is crazy, guys. I'm jumping around, but I had a conversation, kind of a heated conversation, with a gentleman a few weeks ago about Atlanta and the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
And it dealt with Tony Romo and Matt Ryan. You put Tony Romo, this is basically what I said. You put Tony Romo in the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl game, Atlanta wins that game. And I told him that. I told him that. And they were like, he was heated. He's a diehard New England fan. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, you put somebody in there like that. You put Tony in that game. I'm sorry. Tony wins that Super Bowl. Chris, what are your thoughts on that? You put Tony Romo. You got to think. Matt Ryan. When was the last time he was able to, put his team on his back?
But was it really about Matt Ryan, or was it about the play calling?
I think it was a little more of the play calling. Mm-hmm. But then, you can easily say though, even though it was a play calling, by putting a quarterback that's experienced in the game that can say, no, we're going to do this.
Yeah, see that that's what makes your argument, because he can audible. And if you're giving him the freedom, to audible and call his own plays, then yeah, he wins that game.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling him, and he just didn't. It was like he didn't understand what I was saying, and I was saying Tony Romo has more football knowledge than Matt Ryan.
So you're not saying skill set. You're saying experience.
I'm saying off of experience, not skill set. I'm talking merely.
Oh yeah, Tony Romo wins that game.
He wins that game.
He wins that game.
He understands what the situation is.
Because they stopped scoring. Atlanta stopped scoring.
Yes.
With Matt Ryan. They were able, there's a reason that New England was able to come back like that. And a lot of it was play calling. But if you tell Tony Romo, okay, we're going to give you the playbook, and you have option to call out of audibles, and you basically run your whatever plays you want. If they're gonna give him carte blanche to call plays, then Tony Romo calls out of a lot of that nonsense that they were calling.
Yes.
And all you really need is one more score, and the game is yours.
Matter of fact, you put and you know what though, and I'll say this: you put any experienced quarterback, just not off of skill set, but off of experience. You put any quarterback on the Atlanta Falcons team, and when I say any quarterback, I'm not saying Quincy Carter and anybody like that, guys. I'm saying like you put somebody back there like Brett Favre, Tony Romo. You put somebody back there, Kurt Warner. You put heck, I'll even say Russell Wilson. You put Russell Wilson back there.
Because Russell Wilson, I'm gonna tell you what Russell Wilson's gonna do. There's going to be a play in that game where you're going to not. The play is going to break down, and he's going to do something crazy. And again, all you need to do is score once.
That's it.
So
that's it.
Yeah, all you're going to need to do is score once, and then once you score once, it's like, okay, we're going to score once, we're going to do what we do, and then it's a wrap because they shut Matt Ryan down.
Yes, they did.
You know, and like,
and he couldn't recover.
Right.
He couldn't recover. Once they figured out how to stop him, it was over. But that goes to lack of play calling and lack of experience in games. It really does. I mean, and lack of coaching knowledge too. I mean, I love Matt Ryan, but he should have learned from this. To be honest with you, I mean, obviously. He had to. But that's off of experience, man. And that's when your quarterbacks are truly tested. That's how you tell me you're great or not, to be honest with you. I mean, because if you think about this, what if you had Aaron Rodgers back there?
Dude.
Throwing the Julio
it really wasn't about, because Matt Ryan's had a good season.
He's not a bad quarterback.
But
he's not bad.
Right. And the offense fit what Matt Ryan's skill set, and he had an amazing year, and they got to the Super Bowl. But from a purely experience standpoint, on all fronts, that's what happened. Like, I'm sorry, but Atlanta should have won that game.
Yep.
But Brady's the New England Patriots did what they did, and they played their game, and they let Brady go, because the first half he really wasn't effective. They made adjustments on the line. They said, Brady, Tom, do what you do. We got you. And he led the greatest quarterback comeback in Super Bowl history.
Yes, he did.
And that's experience. That's experience for not just having Brady, but there's a difference between mental capability. There's a difference between mental fortitude on those two teams. Like, that's a young coaching staff in Atlanta. That's a young offensive coordinator. That's a young coach. Okay, that's a young staff. That's a young team versus a bunch of veterans.
Right.
And a bunch of scrappy no-names that know the system. There was, as far as like the mental fortitude of the two teams, there's no comparison.
I mean, no comparison at all.
So I can totally understand why you made that. And again, it's not saying that Matt Ryan's a bum, but it's just from a purely experienced standpoint, there's going to be times where you need to break down, and from a straight skills standpoint, from not skills like ball skills and intelligence, but on some like I can get away from things.
Right, exactly.
Is Matt Ryan known for his elusiveness?
he has glimpses at times.
But
I think he's a great regular season quarterback. I think he's a good regular season. Not great. Good.
I think he had his best season ever, but you run into a football mad scientist in Bill Belichick, and Brady
in the brain.
And Brady's a killer.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a different breed of football player and football lifer. Belichick's a genius. And that was a young and what you're saying is that was a young team, and if you had a veteran presence who's been in high pressure situations before, it might have been a better outcome.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. It probably would have been a better if you had that veteran quarterback
right
in your ear.
Right.
That whole game where the coach could actually say, "Hey, I can actually listen to you." Like,
the veteran is gonna look over at the coach and be like, "This is stupid. I'm audible out."
Right. Exactly. I don't like that play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like that play. I don't like it. Check out of it. It just. I mean, that's what wins ball games, man. It's just the truth. I know, guys. I'm jumping around, but Chris, I got to ask you another question.
Go ahead.
Brandon Marshall.
I was going to ask you that question, man, because
that was your boy for a while, man.
Okay. Here's my thought. He signed a 2-year deal, $12 million, right?
Yep.
That's $6 million a year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be awesome the first year.
The first year.
The first year he's gonna be awesome. The second year is when you're like, and they only got him for 2 years, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Couple things. Brandon Marshall is, how they're
a head case.
Well, we're not gonna say a head case. He does have some mental things going on, borderline personality disorder. That's what he has. I was just gonna say from a football standpoint. You know how Dez is like they use Dez in goal line situations?
Yes.
Cowboys. Expect a lot of that with Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall is a guy that will bully corners and safeties to try to get open and get open that way. He's a great mid-range receiver. Now they're gonna put him on the ends, so he's gonna be a speedster. But really, that's not in Chicago. His best games was when they were in the goal line and they were looking for Brandon in the goal line set. And he was kind of getting catches like a tight end would have got catches. So I think that's a good move for the Giants, man.
I think it was a good move for him, man. I can't really say it wasn't. I mean, they just added another weapon.
Alshon Jeffrey goes to the Eagles.
Yes.
I don't understand why he did that. No. Here's my thing, and I promise this won't be a two Bears heavy couple minutes.
Okay.
But I always tend to go back on those.
You love the Bears. He loves the Bears, guys.
Bears fan for life.
Bear down. Huh?
If
To the Cowboys. Go ahead.
You're funny. If your whole point is to go to a warm weather climate, why would you go to Philly?
Why would you go to Philly? Yeah, right.
Why'd you go to Philly? And
how much are they paying him? Where did he sign?
He's a 1-year deal.
Okay.
It's incentive. Like Philly got the deal. Philly got the deal, man. Like Philly won that deal.
Yeah.
Okay, it's incentive based. It's for 1 year. I think it was like for $15 million.
Woo!
I think. Let me
Right.
look for it. But yeah, like Eagles, they won that deal just because of how the deal was. It was incentive based. Let's see. Um, okay, 1 year, $14 million. Okay, so Alshon Jeffrey signed a 1 year, $14 million deal with the Eagles. Now it's incentive based, so if he stays healthy, they're going to be fine. If he stays healthy and he catches balls, but if he doesn't stay healthy or if he has nagging injuries, Philly can only expect him for maybe 10, 11 or 10 games.
Yeah, man.
I really was thinking, because I like Alshon Jeffrey. I think he'd be better in the Southern State, but okay. $14 million.
Like, what would you, if you were on Sean Jeffrey, if you were his manager, where would you tell him if you wanted another, climate change like that? Where would you send him?
Dallas or Miami.
Dallas or Miami, okay.
I was saying, Dallas, get on the phone. Get on the phone, please. Get on the phone, please, and put a flyer out for Jeffrey because everybody else is being kept and you need a change for wide receiver. They're keeping everybody else.
Yeah.
They're not making changes. Alshon Jeffrey goes to Philly. That automatically gives Carson Wentz the number one target. That doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing because Wentz throws ducks. And Jeffrey could get injured. But that immediately puts him in the number one wide receiver role in Philly because it gives Wentz someone to throw to. And I like the move. So
the move is nice. I mean, it's only a year, and I don't have anything. Now, if it was long term, I'd have said, man, you just shot yourself in the foot. But 1 year is decent. I mean, that's what I would have given him.
The Redskins. I don't know what the Redskins are doing.
Nobody knows what the Redskins are doing.
Because Jackson is in Tampa now, which instantly makes Tampa a problem.
Makes them a threat. Boy, Jameis Winston's like, we got us a deep threat.
And you got your position receiver, and you got your position receiver, and you got you a burner now in Jackson. Where did Pierre go? And
Pierre gone?
Yeah, and he's gone to the 49ers. So where is Cousins gonna throw the ball to? Where is he going to throw?
I don't get it. What are the 49ers doing? Like, San Fran,
Brian Hoyer is the future. Brian Hoyer is the future, apparently. Yes.
I don't feel bad for him because I am not a 49er fan by no means at all. I will not promote anything in their city. I will not promote anything in their locker room, fan base, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But I'm saying what I don't get is for the past we could say 6 years, what are they doing? Really, what significant moves have they made? When you think about it, 49ers in the past 6 years have been terrible, dude. And when I say that, when you look back at the championship games they got to,
right.
They beat themselves. They handed the championships away. They handed them away. Regular season games, years down the line, getting blown out, getting just, beat down, Right. I just don't understand coaching changes, players opting out. I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what is up in San Francisco? Well, we have to rebuild.
I don't know what they're doing though. To answer your question,
I don't either.
I don't know what they're doing.
What is
like old Pierre Garçon and old Brian Hoyer. That's gonna yay victory.
Yeah, that's not the answer. 49er fans are gonna be upset again this year. I guarantee it.
Okay,
They're gonna be upset again.
So we talked about Alshon Jeffrey, we talked about Deshaun Jackson, and we talked about Pierre Garçon. Do you have any other football news? Because I gotta ask you about one more sports thing before. Oh, allow me 30 seconds for the Bears, please.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna take a breath.
1, 2, 3. No.
Wait. Okay. I don't understand what the Bears are doing, and this is why.
I was gonna ask you that too. Them too.
Glenn
They lost me.
I'm sorry, but Glenn isn't good. He's not. Now, part of it is because he's, he doesn't have a lot of tape, but he's not good. He's not good. And if you're gonna have you might as well would have kept Cuthead. I understand that Cuthead was annoying and you weren't gonna win with him long term, but you could have kept Hoyer. Like, okay, I don't understand you paying $18.3 million for 2 years with this person. He's 27.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason they drafted Winston. Now, maybe because people don't understand this too, maybe he's like a tall version of Drew Brees. Let me explain. Drew Brees was not very good. He was drafted by San Diego, and he wasn't really good in San Diego. And then he got hurt, and he got hurt, and they drafted Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees had a decent season in the season that he got traded. He gets traded to the Dolphins. That really didn't work out well. He ends up with the Saints. Everything turned out fine. They won the Super Bowl. Unless it ends up being like that, where this guy completely sets the world on fire, I don't understand what they're doing, because you could have kept Hoyer, you could have kept Jay Cutler, or you could have kept Hoyer, because I don't know if Jay Cutler would be a good mentor to the quarterback. But what's the sense of having this dude on your squad for 2 years when he's looking for a place to start? Like, where are you going to draft your quarterback at? Unless you're going to draft your quarterback in the later rounds, hope he develops, and then you trade dude for later. But if you're trying to rebuild now, there's no reason to have that veteran quarterback for that much money.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't understand. Alshon Jeffrey didn't want to be there. I understand why Alshon Jeffrey left. He never wanted to be there. He was professional, but he never wanted to be a Bear.
No.
So I understand that. But I don't understand the quarterback situation. I just don't. He's not good. And we're going to find out how not good he is.
Yeah, and that's the honest truth, man.
So, yeah.
It's going to be easy, too.
So, yeah.
Easy to figure out.
So, yeah, that's it. That's it for football. Before I let you go, though, man, and before we wrap this up, what do you think about Dirk Nowitzki's with 30,000, man?
Man. I'm so proud of him, dude. I mean, he and Kobe Bryant, man, just they are both amazing players. Dirk is just he's what can I say? He's the man now. Like he always has been, but he's the greatest Maverick ever.
Of course. They're gonna have that step back fadeaway. in that pose as a statue for him.
Yes, they are. Man, when he retires, that statue goes up, bro.
Yeah.
That statue goes up downtown. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
They're giving him a Jordan type statue.
Bro. They have to.
They have to, man. He made this squad.
Now, because I was there the early years, bro. He was a little bit more consistent than most young people, but this was the same draft that Paul Pierce got drafted.
Right.
And we watched Paul Pierce, dominate with Antoine Walker and have a lot of fun doing it. And then we saw Dirk struggled.
Exactly.
And I believe, was it Utah where it was the first the first playoff series they won? Was it Utah?
I think so.
I think it was Utah. Yeah, I think it was Utah. That's where, because I think one of them games Dirk took over.
Yes.
I was like, okay, and that was some years ago, man. But I was like, okay, Dirk. But there were times, man, where people were like, I don't know if you'll win with him.
Yeah, people were kind of hesitant about it.
So
that's for sure.
Greatest Maverick ever.
Yes.
Hands down the best international. It's like Arvydas Sabonis and him.
What would you say again?
The best international player in history. It's Arvydas Sabonis and him.
That's it.
And Arvydas Sabonis, we saw old Arvydas Sabonis. The young version of him, dude, the young version of him was a problem.
Ridiculous.
So in the Basketball Hall of Fame, it's them two.
Yes, of course.
Greatest international player to ever picked up a ball. And every big man is trying to do that. Like you got a signature shot when every big man in America is trying to do it.
Oh man, yes. Yeah. Every man, you know what? They're trying to be Dirk, man, but he's a special player, dude.
Yep.
And I don't even know how else to explain it. He's just one of those special type players, man, that just excelled throughout his career. He has good basketball knowledge, man. He's humble. I don't even know how else to explain it. He knows what to do. He knows how to get it done.
And he'll play for one more season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he plays for a couple more because of the youth injected in that spot.
Oh man, dude. Do you think he would do that though?
That he would stay longer?
Yeah.
I think it's fun, and I think he doesn't have to put the scoring load on anymore.
But do you think he would do that though?
Stay longer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to think longevity when it comes to his knees and would he do it? That's the crazy part.
Right. That's an interesting question, man. So, and I'm not even going to get into the Bulls because they're...
What are they doing?
No, they're just bad and they're inconsistent.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't understand them. I don't understand. No one understands what they're trying to do. We understand, but we think what they're trying to do is stupidly wrong.
There's no leadership on that team.
I'll give you. It's not because Jimmy Butler's a leader, okay, but just the philosophy offensively for the Bulls, it changes. Like they go from a running gun team to like a half court team where Jimmy Butler, who is the most painful 26-point scorer I've ever seen. His offensive game is not fluid at all. And anyone that watches basketball understands what I'm saying. You watch somebody put up every shot he could to drop 40.
Right.
And that's what they do. D Wade and Jimmy, they worked sometimes, other times they haven't.
Right.
So I don't know what they want to do. I've already done a vlog on them. Please check it out. A couple days back. But yeah, man. Do you think they'll make the playoffs? The Mavericks will.
Yes.
You think they'll go ahead and be the number 8 seed?
Yeah, they'll make it.
Okay.
They'll make it.
If they don't, this draft is deep. I would listen to offers if I'm Cuban and try to move up, because you have an opportunity to get somebody really nice.
Yeah.
So, but
he's gonna do it. I mean, either way though, I think the Mavericks, they look nice, man, and I think they have room to develop, and I think it's just they're loaded up with talent, man.
Right.
Curry's coming in his own. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, they're finally figuring out how to use Curry too. It's not just we're not just gonna roll you off of screens and then have you shoot jumpers. He's a better penetrator than Steph is. Use that.
Yes, he is. He's a better penetrator than his brother.
And what I don't like, what I don't like about the Bulls and what I like about the Mavericks, Mark Cuban is like, we're not tanking for the sake of tanking. But the difference is they're not rushing old players back. You don't see J.J. Barea. You don't see, they let Darren Williams, they waived him. He signed with Cleveland. Okay? You're not seeing Barea. Devin Harris isn't starting. The only person that you really holding to is Dirk. And Dirk is not selfish enough to derail the team chemistry here.
Right.
Whereas with the Bulls, like, they don't want to rebuild, but they haven't said it, and everything that's coming out is like, randomness.
Man, trying to tell you.
Where with the Bulls, it's like they want to be competitive, but it's like they want to be competitive, but at the same time, it's like you want to be young. They don't really know how to be young. They don't really know how to get young players. The Mavericks, dude, they find guys. Their backcourt is D-leaguers. Steph's a D-leaguer, man. So is Yogi. They signed them to developmental contracts and then 10-day contracts. And Cuban is not trying to force the issue. Yeah,
exactly.
you're not tanking for the sake of tanking, but when injuries happen, you're figuring out what you have, and with a lot of these younger guys, you're still staying with them, in the rotation. So it's working for you.
Exactly what I'm trying to tell you, boy.
So, whereas with the Bulls, it's like, I don't know what they're doing. They don't have a young core. And when they do start with the young core, they stop midway through and they run a half court offense, which doesn't get them wins.
Man, trying to tell you.
So, I don't know, man. I think the Dirk Nowitzki thing is awesome. I missed the game, but I saw the highlights. Everybody's tripping out. Best international player ever, next to Arvidas Sabonis. And, and we don't... The Bears are head-scratching. The Cowboys, we knew this was going to happen. They're shoring up a lot of O-line and D-line, positions. So I think they're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be nice, man. I'm not worried about them. I'm really not.
And we'll go from there because it's 11.
Yes, folks, it is 11.
And you're still gonna be up because of your job, and I'm gonna go to sleep because of mine.
Lovely.
So, for Push It While Black Sports
and the RANT Sport and Fitness,
this is Christian Dean.
And this is Mignon Garrett.
Later, people.
Peace.